Super Mario Odyssey is one of the most popular speedrun games of all time, and many of the players are incredibly skilled at the game. So I wondered, how fast would I be able to complete a run? I've seen a few speedruns before and I've practiced some movement, but I've never even finished a speedrun of this game. And I'm not particularly good at it either. But nevertheless, I started up a new game of Mario Odyssey and I began my timer. And at the very beginning of the game, I already made a mistake. Oops. But I carried on with the run, getting past the frog's room and fighting the first boss. On the boss, I made a few mistakes, but I still killed him fairly quickly, finishing the kingdom at a little over 3 minutes. From there, I got my first moon and captured the dino. Using the dino, I attempted to do a skip where I jump all the way to the boss, but I was struggling. I kept missing the jump and bonking my head on this wall. Eventually though, with some good luck, I got it, and I began my battle with Madame Brood. This fight was pretty easy, so after getting the last moon, I moved on to Sand Kingdom, the first big kingdom of the game. Now I haven't memorized a good route for this speedrun. I was just trying to follow along from what I remember from watching a few speedruns a long time ago, so I'm not going to be doing any of the optimal paths. Anyway, I kept going through the kingdom, trying to get all the moons I could. I didn't have the best routing, but I finished the kingdom and moved on to Lake, where I made my way onto this wall and began collecting more moons. And everything was going well, until I had to fight Rango, the boss of Lake Kingdom. On my first try, I wasn't able to hit him. Luckily though, I did on my next try. And then when he was in his hat, I tried to jump on him, but that didn't go so well. But with a good jump on the next one, I was able to hit him again. However, right after that, I took some damage again, bringing me to 1 health. Thankfully, with another good hit, I finished off Rango before he had a chance to kill me, ending Lake Kingdom. Onto Wooded Kingdom, another pretty big one. After smashing this rock open, I jumped onto this wall and made it into the interior of the kingdom, where I collected some more moons, went through the flooded pipes, killed the big piranha plant, and jumped all the way down here, where I climbed to the top of the tower and started the next boss fight. Luckily, Spewer is much easier to kill than the other ones, so I beat him fairly quickly. Next was Cloud Kingdom, the first fight against Bowser, and on the first round, I actually managed to do a speedrunning trick that stops Bowser from jumping away, and I did it again. But on the third go, I wasn't so fortunate. But even still, I was able to end the fight and make it to Lost Kingdom. Now, there is a bird named Klepto who will try to steal Cappy away from you. However, with a precise jump, you can skip that, which I somehow did on the first try. And I started collecting moons. But then, something terrible happened. I fell all the way down. I had no idea what to do in this spot. So I attempted to crawl back up. And then I tried to jump here, which I did, but I got my hat stolen. Great. Now I have to kill the bird to get my hat. After that mess, I collected some more moons, and I finished Lost Kingdom. Metro Kingdom's next, but it's all dark and gloomy until you kill the boss. So I did this jump, got some moons, and made it inside the skyscraper. This was a nightmare. I struggled to make it onto this pole, and after I got the moon, I tried to jump down to the exit, and, well, failed. So I tried again, and fell again. So I decided to just give up on the jump and go around the normal way. Huge waste of time. But I made it to the boss and began the fight. I wasn't able to get the first try cycles on this fight, but I still beat it and collected the moons. Now it's Day Metro, meaning I can get all the moons I need for the Odyssey. But remember when I said I was going off of memory? Yeah, I forgot where the last moon was. So I did the jump rope challenge instead, which is incredibly slow. But in the end, I got all the moons and finished Metro, and I went to Snow Kingdom. I sped through Shiveria collecting moons along the way, and I went through each level to get some more moons. And in no time, I was already done with the kingdom. On to Seaside Kingdom, where I was doing pretty well, except I forgot the route again, and I ended up getting a few moons that were way too slow. Anyways, time for Luncheon, where I had to fight Spirit again, but I beat him easily. Luncheon wasn't too eventful. I died a few times and lost time, but nevertheless I finished the kingdom and moved on. But now, I was in Ruined Kingdom, a kingdom that could ruin my whole run, because of the dragon. The dragon's lightning can be incredibly dangerous if you make mistakes, so I tried my hardest to avoid every attack, and I got the first hit no problem, and the second hit was even better. But then, I was hit, and I wasn't able to kill the dragon on the first cycle. It was looking rough, but luckily, the next time he came down, I killed him and collected the moons, finishing the kingdom, and I entered Bowser's Kingdom. And I was doing pretty well. I was going fast and not getting that many slowdowns, and going into the brutal fights, I felt confident. So I began the battle against Hopper. In this fight, I made a few mistakes, but overall I did okay. Next was Harriet, who I defeated without any problems. After easily making my way through more of Bowser's Kingdom, I finally arrived at the mech boss fight, which is probably the most difficult boss for me. I started out by hitting its legs with the bombs to make it fall over. Then I jumped on top of it with Mario and killed the Brutal. On my second try I did it again, but on the third cycle, it started shooting out these weird spinny things. So I started to take a few hits, and eventually I died. So I tried again, but this time with a good idea of what to do. First I took out the legs, and easily killed the first Brutal. Next I did the same thing, and finished the second Brutal. Then I was able to climb up the legs, and finish the third Brutal. One left, and I just climbed up again, and won the fight. Which means, Bowser's Kingdom is done. Just one more kingdom, Moon. And if you know anything about Odyssey speedruns, you know that Moon Kingdom has the biggest skip in the whole game. Now, it usually isn't very difficult for most runners, but for someone who has never done it before, it can be kinda difficult. So difficult, in fact, that I spent a very long time on it. About 18 minutes just on one skip. Probably would have been faster to just go through the Moon Cave, but now it was time for the final boss, Bowser. Luckily, this fight is similar to Cloud Kingdom, so I was able to reuse some of the strategies, and I got the first hit. Then the second, and the third using a trick. Which meant the only thing left was to escape. So I captured Bowser and started running. And I ran and jumped all the way here, where I shot fireballs and hit every pillar to knock them all down. And finally I destroyed the final block and entered the wire to end the game, beating Mario Odyssey in 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 20 seconds. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you want to help me out, and I'll see you next time.